Let's get it.
Very special episode. Very special episode. We are privileged and honored with the legend, pioneer, Robert Shields. Everyone give a round of applause at home. Give a round of applause at home. Man, so much. So, how you doing, Robert? Ooh, look at that.
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be on my first Zoom meeting. I've never done Zoom before.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. Well, yeah, this is the blessings of technology, right? Now we just got to make sure we do it
whoa,
in the right way. Yeah. So, where are you at now? Where are you living?
I live in Arizona near Jerome, about 20 miles outside of Sedona.
Okay, yeah, I've been
Arizona.
Wow.
I've been here 37 years.
How you liking it?
I love it, man.
Love it.
Got out of LA.
Yeah.
Too crazy
right
for
on
me.
time.
Yeah.
Right on. That's dope, man. And the last time I think I saw you personally was at the Poppers Picnic.
Yeah.
A few years back. How would you say? How did you like that? I bet it was something interesting for you to see. Was that like your first street dance event that you've ever been to?
Yeah, I mean they're doing this documentary on me, and we thought we were invited to go down there, so we went down there with the crew, and I thought I was going to get jumped or something at first. Everybody looked so mean and rough, but it turns out they all like me, so I'll kill you. Turns out they're all sweethearts.
Yeah, no, that's the appearance is way different. They're all dancers and artists, just look way different. Yeah. So also I wanted to get into like, where did you grow up exactly? Because I know you went to North Hollywood High School, but where did you grow up, or where would you say you grew up?
I grew up in LA, born and raised in LA, born in Hollywood area, North Hollywood.
Yeah.
And went to North Hollywood High, went to Madison and Millikan Junior High School in the Valley.
Yeah.
And then I moved to San Francisco in my 20s and became the first street mime up there.
Yeah. Wow. Before you went to
gig was at the Hollywood Wax Museum.
That in between the Hollywood Wax Museum and Frisco, did you go to Paris? Or
I went to Paris. Yeah, I got a scholarship with Marcel Marceau.
And when did you
went there? And
when did you meet him?
Well, he went to the Wax Museum with his son, who was a friend of mine. I met him, and he saw me doing this crazy robot thing I was developing, and he offered me a full scholarship in Paris to study with him because real mime, not fake mime, is all about isolation. And it's all about the whole isolation of an object and the form of isolation, even though I didn't know what I was doing. Because in the school, fencing, gymnastics, acting, I didn't like everybody was copying him. They're all like these French guys doing mime. I've always been kind of like my own inspiration. So I learned a little bit and then got out and immediately went on the streets in San Francisco. And that's when that whole thing was birthed. You know?
Would you say that like the street performing was something that you just appreciated a lot more than just being in like a controlled environment?
Yeah, at that time I was only 19, and I just thought that I went on the street and did my robot, and then once I got a crowd, I started imitating everybody, imitating people walking by and doing shtick and pranks and stories on them.
Yeah.
I'd take a black guy and marry him to, a Chinese lady.
Yeah.
I'd hand a joint to a cop. I would climb on top of a bus and I'd slide down the street. I'd do all kinds of weird pranks, flipping over bushes, imitating dogs, It was all improvisation,
Yeah.
and it was dance, mime, commedia dell'arte,
Yeah.
and a lot of.
I have a question. What
Yeah.
what did you see? What was your first inspiration to even try to do the robot?
Yeah.
My inspiration for the robot was always has been puppets.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
puppets and
Wow.
mechanical objects. It was never people. I wanted to like, the way a head would move. The way a spring would pop.
Yeah.
So I collect all these kind of objects and I would study them for hours, man.
When you were
when I fell, I watched how a puppet fell, and then I fell the same way. I bounced my head and, you know what I mean? My whole thing was trying to be fake, not being real. It was trying and not blinking. I didn't blink. Now I'm 69 years old now, even though I look like an old guy. My body is still very thin and I still keep up my exercises and I have a very pure diet. So I'm not like an old dude who just can't do that anymore. I can still do all that stuff. It's pretty nice.
That's awesome.
Because I kept up the training.
Yeah, and that's interesting you said, because I saw one time in the interview that you were actually saying that, like, you gave two examples of a human trying to be a robot and a robot trying to be a human. And I felt like that was like super important. Like, it gets lost a lot in these newer generations, right? Where a lot of people are humans trying to pretend to be a robot. And I just found it super interesting that you made that comparison that way. And it actually looked, I actually have the clip right here. I'm gonna pop it up actually so we could watch it. Let me get it real quick. But also I wanted to ask, like, before even you got to the wax museum, like how, like, so as a kid, did you have puppets around you, or like how did you get into roboting? Like, when was it exactly? Like, what could you remember how old you were when you first like started to practice or trying to?
Yeah, I remember exactly. I was at this thing called in LA, it was called the Teenage Fair. And there was someone up there being a mannequin, and they were really bad. They were just standing as a mannequin, but they were blinking, and it was a girl. And she was really cute, though. I ended up going out with her. And and then the guy I was a really crazy kid. I was wearing capes, and I was really experimenting with everything, with the way I looked, I would go to school as a gypsy one day, the next day I'd go as a mortician. And I was just saying, man, if she didn't blink and if she had hairspray on her hands and if she did this and she did that, she would really look like a mannequin. And the guy overheard me say that, Jimmy Dixon, and he goes, "Hey kid, get up there and do it." So I just jumped up and I just stood there and did it. And I got hired and she got canceled. And then her and I went out that night. It was pretty good. And then she was wearing silver lame. Yes. Anyway, wonder what happened to her.
Yeah.
So I got the job with him, and then we started traveling all over the country doing sideshows, and I was billed as Robbie the Robot. And a guy would come out with a microphone and go, "Nobody can make him smile. Nobody can make him laugh. $8,000 for the mechanical genius. Robbie the Robot. He's not real. Glass eyes, latex rubber." And I sprayed my hands with hairspray. And I was young, so I had no wrinkles. So I would not blink.
How long could you do that for? Because I know you and Yarnell practice that a lot.
Yes, we practice not blinking, because the minute you blink, the illusion's done. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I practiced that for hours and hours and hours. I got to about an hour without blinking. But in the old days, if I felt I was going to blink, I just turned around like this, and blinked, and then came back. So I kind of hit it.
Nice.
That's really dope.
Yeah. So that's how I started with that sideshow, man. And
So that's really what forced you to practice, right? It's like someone just giving you that opportunity and just you like taking it.
well, because and the other thing is people would go, that's not real. That's not fucking real. You know, because remember, we're in a carnival or a sideshow, a lot of tough people.
Yeah.
Hey, he's not real. And then I started not blinking, everybody was going, damn, man, that's real.
Yeah.
That's, you know. And that's the whole thing I had, is to absolutely be fake, not real, just zone out, you know.
Awesome.
And when you're younger, you can do that. You know, you get older, you don't want to do that stuff anymore because it's too much work.
All right,
That's amazing.
I got the clip right here.
That's the puppet.
I think it's later on in the. Here it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with the guys at Disneyland, the animatronics, because they're like robots being people, and I'm a person being a robot, and like they all have air in them, you know, they have like tubes, and they're all work.
You mean Lincoln?
Yeah, animatronics at Disney. Yeah, Lincoln, you know, and also in Disney World, all the presidents, but they work like this, you know. Like, well, hi, Merv.
Wow.
That's incredible.
The oddest part about it, even being so near to Robert,
I know it. It's
you suddenly get a very eerie feeling about you.
This is a person being a robot. Okay, so this is completely
You're like,
different.
look at this
It's a
difference.
person being a robot.
Yeah, that was a robot trying to be a person.
Right.
This is a person being a robot.
We got it.
Oh, you can see it.
That's so crazy. Even this part right here, this is like. So, go ahead.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's
That lady got freaked out.
So
Joan
I
Van
wanna
Ark, I
ask
think
you,
she's a celebrity in some show.
Which one do you like better? The robot trying to be human or the human trying to be a robot?
Wow, that's a good question. I think they're different, but it depends which one I'm doing. So I do so many things. I do frogs and lizards, and the robot, I never thought it would take off like it did. If it did, I would have signed a contract with Michael Jackson saying that whenever just give me 1%, 0.5%, because he came to my house. He was such a big fan of mine. He came to my house and I trained him in the robot.
Wow.
And I wish I would have got it. You know what I mean? I mean, I had no idea. The robot has always been my favorite thing to do. A human being a robot, obviously, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied the animatronics at Disneyland because they're fascinating. You know, the way they move with bells and whistles, and they move with air. So I guess a human being a robot, that was what I put the most time in, hours and hours in that.
Do you remember what year it was when you met Michael?
Oh, I've been friends with him forever. I mean, he came to Vegas to see me. The year, what was it? Must have been 15 at the time.
Wow.
It was yeah. He was about 15 with the Jackson 5, and they would tape. It was, well, definitely they taped our shows. The Shields and Yarnell show was on CBS, and they taped them all. and they used to study them, all the but the only one who could actually do anything with it was Michael. The other guys, they didn't have the knack to do what Michael could do.
Yeah.
You know, Michael was a genius. You know, he could dance, sing, and write me great hits. I mean, and he was a real sweetheart too.
I want to touch back on your Frisco days too, street performing, like because that clip we saw was obviously after those years of you street performing in Frisco as a teenager. Would you so would you say like a lot of what you do developed street performing in Frisco?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It developed in San Francisco. That's where I learned my whole thing was San Francisco, because every day I was on the streets for, hours and hours improvisation. The most you can ever learn as an artist is working in front of a live audience, especially an audience that's coming and going.
Yeah.
And any street performer will tell you. You guys work on the street?
Yeah, I've done a lot of street performing.
I haven't.
You haven't? Well, it's really good. They'll give you immediate feedback. You know when it's right, you know when it's wrong. If you have a big crowd, you know you're getting good. If you don't have a crowd, you don't have any magic. So I learned everything I learned from the street. I was on the street for 7 years, and I learned everything, man. First at the Hollywood Wax Museum, then the Renaissance fairs, then San Francisco, I worked in the streets. New York, I worked in the streets. Seattle, Vancouver. I'd get on a plane and fly over the country and work in the streets. And I did pretty well. I made a living doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also that's where I learned my craft. That's the robot was so tight, because if I blinked, if it wasn't right, people wouldn't be spellbound.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is to take them into your web, into your magic. And so they go, oh my God, that guy's great. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
No.
Yeah.
Sure. And why Frisco over LA at the time? Like, why didn't you just come back home and perform in Hollywood?
Well, the Hollywood Wax Museum, they were paying me $24 for the weekend. I couldn't pass a hat.
Yeah.
Hell with that, man. I'm not doing that. Come on, man. So I went to San Francisco to do the Renaissance Fair, and I met the writer for the Rolling Stone magazine, and she liked me a lot, and she said, why don't you do it down here, downtown? So she took me to a corner, and I started doing my act on a corner, and I made $35 in one set.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden I did another set and I made $50. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm moving here.
Yeah.
So I moved to San Francisco. I was like 19 and, got in my car and packed up my stuff and just drove, and
that's awesome.
Moved to Haight-Ashbury, and I had it was a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And that's where like really TV producers and people like that saw you, right? Like, was you performing?
Yeah, I mean, they did. They saw me, and then I got so big in San Francisco, became a pretty big star there for the city.
Yeah.
Then people say, hey, you need to be national.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I started realizing I need to find a girl that I can do this with, so I can start, because I'm a writer. I like to write sketches.
Yeah.
And, when you just perform, you need to have meat. Meat is the hit song, the sketches, the routines. So I had all these ideas in my head about writing routines for two people, and I started auditioning women, to dancers and mimes, and I found her, and she was brilliant. She was a trained dancer who was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask too. Like, did you guys meet on a TV set, or was it just like through this audition process? No,
we met on a TV special for Sid and Marty Krofft. I was on the show, and she was a dancer on the show, and we came together there, and that's where we met. And
what year was that?
Like 72?
1970, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't it 1970?
And then
something like that.
And she was a dancer, right? She didn't have no like miming or
No, she didn't know
skills.
anything about that, but she had a comedic head. In
Mm,
other words, she was funny and she was a great student. She was a very disciplined dancer. I mean, she was like so disciplined. She taught me so much stuff about discipline
yeah.
because, you know, street dancers, street performers, we're not that disciplined. You know, I mean, I'm disciplined, but not like her, not with
Okay, another level.
doing 4 hours of ballet every day. And
Mm.
she's the one who made me wear knee pads and wrapping my wrists and warming up before I go on, you know.
Yeah. All those things that we don't learn
We
on
still don't
Right.
do
I mean, we
that
don't
now.
do that stuff. We don't do just go out there and do it. But she's like, no, 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 no. You got to do the plie. You got to stretch your calves. You got to, you know, and she's absolutely right. What we we're instruments,
yeah,
and the instruments need to be tuned.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Duh.
Big
You know,
time.
so without her, I would have been in deep trouble because she trained me in that area.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
Because that's something else I wanted to ask is like, because some of the, like, if you guys see a lot of your people out there have seen the performances of Shields and Yarnell, there's so much acrobatics that are in the performance, like injury. Like, I have a question about injuries. Like, how did you guys ever like get seriously injured? Because some of these throws and rolls and things that you guys are doing is just like, I'm like, how did they keep doing that without getting hurt?
Especially
Um,
the puppet routine that you guys did was the
Yeah.
way you were like falling. That must have
Yeah.
been hard on the knees.
Well, that's the thing. My wrists were taped.
Mm. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
knees were taped and bandaged. My ankles were taped and bandaged.
Wow.
And on top of that, I had knee pads.
And that
And
like her world.
yeah, and also I have this ability to be very, very light. So even though I can throw myself way up in the air, when I come down, I bow. I just don't come down like blah blah. I come down like do 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 blah blah.
Yeah.
Like do 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 bam. You know what I mean? Never just
Yeah, yeah.
bam bam.
Yeah.
But I always roll with it. If you ever watch that, I'm not just kind of going like flopping down. And a few times I did get a lot of injuries because we used to wear bell bottoms.
Yeah.
They were
Oh.
the dumbest. I can't believe it. Everybody thought they were so cool back then. Bell bottoms. Maybe someday they'll come back. But the one thing bad about bell bottoms is when you're in rehearsal and you're wearing bell bottoms and you do a double round off flip, your foot gets stuck in the bell, and I sprained my ankle many, many times
Oh wow.
from the frickin' bell bottoms getting stuck there. So that's not good. But no, we never really had major injuries. Never. I quit performing in 2009. I had a 2-hour one-man show and I kind of quit because I couldn't walk after 28 shows. I was 60 at the time. Now I'm 69.
Wow.
And my chiropractor said, man, you know, you got 60-year-old knees, man.
Yeah.
How long are you going to be doing this? Because I was still doing the puppet and the monkey and the lizard and flying, flipping, and the monk and all that stuff I did. And I just realized, damn, I don't want to be in a wheelchair. See, the robot and all that stuff you can do forever. But, you know, a lot of that breakdancing stuff, man, you can't do that. You can't spin on your head when you get older, you know?
No.
We're blessed to be
That's tough.
poppers. We're blessed to
Yeah.
be poppers. So
Yeah, popping you can handle, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
sure. But I wanted to, what do you prefer? Like mime, robot, entertainer, or just like Robert? Like what is exactly what you do or what you are?
Okay, so once upon a time, to be a mime was a magical thing. Unfortunately, so many people who do mime so poorly ruined it for everyone else.
Mm.
The guys with the striped shirts and the berets and the really stupid moves. And so I'm really not a big fan of the word mime. I I prefer entertainer. I'm a comic and a dancer and a mime and a popper and
Yeah.
a botter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I employ all those things. I love doing things with masks. And I always feel that you got to try and do everything you can. Humor is always been my main friend there. I love making people laugh, you know.
No, for sure. That was a question I was gonna have a little later about your comedy, but also like when exactly did you guys get picked up to do the Shields and Yarnell show? Like was that like around 76, 77?
Yeah, 77. Before that, we were doing all kinds of other shows. They started putting us, I mean, we moved to LA from San Francisco, and immediately we started pounding the pavement. And I realized that we need to get our face out there. So I had a lot of 8x10s made, and I would put them in Chinese restaurants and delis and places where people did their dry cleaning, even though we never used any of those places. And people in the business saw these pictures of us and they wondered, who the hell are these people? And we started getting some people like from Laugh-In and different shows interested in us. And little by little, we started getting on local television. And then we did this thing called the Ted Mack Amateur Hour. Once upon a time, there was an amateur hour called Ted Mack, and there was 3,500 contestants, and we came in first.
Wow.
Very cool. And that got us some notoriety. And then there was the Burt Reynolds talent search, and there was 4,000 people. And the guy who came in first was a 6-year-old Chinese piano player who played Flight of the Bumblebee. But we came in second. And we got, we started getting local shows, and then one thing led to another, and we met this guy, and he was a producer, and he put us on the Mac Davis show, and then, that became really successful for us, and we got the Sonny and Cher show little by little. And then all of a sudden, we started getting a lot of letters, people writing into CBS saying, who are these people? Because the thing is, there was only 3 networks, and our stuff was really fresh, different than anything that was going on. No one's ever seen anybody do a robot or anything like that, man. It was like, nobody saw this kind of physical comedy from these young people. And then the Sonny and Cher show said, the people from CBS said, man, they need their own show.
Yeah.
So they gave us a pilot, and they wanted to make sure we could talk. They said, can they talk? And we could talk.
Yeah.
So the Shields and Yarnell show came on in 1977, I believe, on CBS. It ran for a while. Then it came on again, the second season, and they put us against Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days, and we tanked.
It's really hard to compete with those shows. But the fact that you guys even got a show, because I don't think there's ever been a show like that before or after, like
no
having those levels of entertainers to just cover all those different genres. And like, who came up with the name the Clinkers?
The Clinkers, we came up with that name during the Mac Davis show. Mac Davis was a country singer, big time country, and we had a team of writers. Pat Proft, who wrote Naked Gun, and Danny Simon, who was Neil Simon's brother, and Lenny Rips, all kinds of writers we had. And I wrote the routines, and they polished them, because in TV, once you start getting successful, you're lucky you get like writers, because you have to come up with stuff every week, and you can't come up with all of it on your own. So you have writers to help you, guide you, and direct you. And one of the writers, I think, came up with the name Clinkers. I didn't come up with that.
Yeah. Did you
they said, what about the Clinkers? I went, okay, they got to be called something.
Yeah.
And my thing that I wrote was robots eating breakfast, robots in the supermarket, robots getting married. But we did robots at the barbecue, robots Happy Days robot. We did all kinds of robots and situations. Robots doing this, robots doing that. You know, robots eating Chinese food, robots in the kitchen. You know, all kinds of stuff. But the classic was robots in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Robots eating breakfast, and robots getting married. The honeymoon couple. You know.
Yeah.
And did you ever use any like I and I know how like amazing of a performer you are, but was there any like cause I know special effects wasn't in at that time and stuff like that, because there's some stuff that you do that I'm like, how can you do that without any help? Like,
Okay, tell me what it is, and I'll.
like this one right here.
Okay, that's real.
Wow.
That's me on a skateboard,
Skateboard.
really doing that stunt.
Look at this.
Wow.
Look at this.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I did it, and I wheeled down the street. I always was good on a skateboard, and I was watching through the side of my eye, and then at the right move, I just turned in that corner and got rid of that board. That was real.
How many takes was that?
That was done on one take.
Wow.
That was a miracle.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's
And
amazing.
if you ever see Yarnell in the supermarket and she slides around,
yes,
that's because when I was spraying shaving cream, it fell on the floor. So her sliding around was because of the shaving cream, and then she fell right into the freezer. It was so freaking cool. Right. There it is, right there. That she wasn't supposed to do that, but the shaving cream made her look at that. It's slippery.
Wow.
So that was so part of the act. It was so not in the script at all. See that sprayer right there? She gets sprayed, but it's landing on the ground. And then she's going, oh, what the hell? But she's such a pro that she's just going with it, man. She's going with it. She knows she has to make it to the freezer to fall in the freezer. Boom. She made it perfect. So good. So good.
Man, that's so crazy. Like, how much did you guys practice? Like, what would you say was your daily practice schedule?
5 hours a day. 5 hours a day. And then when I pulled her out of the freezer, people go, man, you're so strong. Well, she was on a cable.
Okay.
She was on a piano wire. She had a harness on her. So they pulled her on a rope.
Yes,
wow.
I have that right here too. That's really where that question came about, because when I seen this, I'm like, yo, this man is incredibly.
Nobody can. Dude, nobody can do that, man.
In the
like
position,
crazy, lifting her up,
opening up, and it's like
she'd have to be made out of foam.
Yeah.
Now she was on a wire. She was wearing a harness with a piano wire. They call it a piano wire, and a guy's off stage with a big, like a dolly thing, one of those things pulling her up and down.
Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing.
People have always said that. God, you really no way.
Yeah, but even the way you guys are executing it, it makes it look like you're doing it. And that right there is the skill. And
thank you, man. Yeah, that was a lottery. That set, that supermarket set cost $30,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's television production.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And that was 1977, 78. So now it'd be way more, right?
Oh, yeah. Now, yeah. Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Man.
Jeez.
Yeah. And out of because you've done you and Yarnell, and especially you have done so many gigs and been on so many TV shows and movies and stuff. What would you say is your most memorable, out of all? Because I know there's hundreds and hundreds of things you've came out in. If you could point out just a few, some of your most memorable. Didn't you work for Ringling Brothers as well?
Yeah, I was the director of clowns for Ringling Brothers. I trained the clowns, but that was a cool gig. But I mean, going to China with Bob Hope and performing at the White House and headlining at all the hotels in Vegas, and working, having Frank Sinatra call you up and go, I want you to open for me, and
wow.
Having James Cagney, Jimmy Cagney at my house for dinner, and Baryshnikov at my house for dinner, and meeting all those people. I mean, I used to hang out with just about everybody, going to Barbara Streisand's house, and
Wow.
I mean, I've done
That's
a
so
lot of.
dope.
We
That's
were
great.
very revered in the business as far as people really loved us, and Prince was a big fan, and Elvis Presley watched our show every week. I couldn't believe that. I did Return of the
Wow.
Wild West, and the Memphis Mafia, the guys who worked with him, they go, by the way, Elvis never missed your show. I'm like, really? He goes, oh yeah, he loved your moves, man. He loved your moves. I'm like, whoa, wow.
That's super dope.
Pretty cool.
And to give more context to all the like younger people out there watching, like the amount of television and movies that Shields and Yarnell came out on, like the whole world was watching these shows and like getting inspired from it, because there was nothing like this going on or ever happened that you could see on TV. So like all these celebrities and even just regular people of society were so captivated by it, because literally they at the time, like they didn't know whether these were real people or actual robots, like, you know.
Right.
So that was like a part of the whole allure, I feel like. And because now it's harder for younger people to understand that, because the access of information, right? They could always like, is this thing real or not? They could Google it. Where back in those days, like you really had to, like, the imagination was allowed to run wild, right?
Right. There was only 3 networks: ABC, CBS, ABC, and that was it. That was it. So because we were young, all the young people loved us, and they didn't like all that old Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis stuff. That was old fogey shit to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
We were the only ones they could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that was that. And now that's why when they grew up, they remembered us going, oh man, you're the only people we could watch that were, you know, we were like Cirque du Soleil before Cirque du Soleil. We were the kind of the beginning of that kind of that kind of stuff. And now, of course, now it's a whole different thing, as you know. Here we are on Zoom.
Yeah. And also, like, who are some of your favorite like mimes or like robots? Like, who would you say right now? Like, if you had a list of, like, let's say.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them. Poppin' John is amazing. Mad Chad. I mean, I don't really know too many. I have a lot of Facebook friends, and they're all young dancers.
Mm-hmm.
And I before someone becomes my friend, I look at them. I go, oh, okay, you're a dancer. I see. You know, I understand.
Oh.
And then a lot of people, I see brilliant stuff, but I don't know their names.
Yeah.
So I just I want to tell you, the first time that I've ever watched one of your videos, you and Yarnell, was because of Skeeter Rabbit. This guy right here behind me. He's like he's my popping teacher.
Oh, nice.
And he was a big fan of yours.
Wow, Skeeter Rabbit. I've heard his name, man.
Yeah. And his robot was amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
And he would always tell me, like, whenever I would try to robot, he would always say, don't blink, because, you know, he would get that from you. And I got.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away in 2006. But he would always tell me to study you, like your puppet routine and the videos that we just watched where you were doing the robot. I would always like watch those because of him, you know.
Wow. Bless his heart.
And also he was the first person that explained to me the whole concept you had about a robot trying to be a human.
Yeah.
So he was all about that.
Where did he work? And where did he work? Where did he actually work?
He was from out here in LA, and he would travel. He would travel from LA to Japan, Korea, like just teaching Europe, you know, just teaching popping and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the one of the definitely a huge pioneer in the popping culture. He's from a group called the Electric Boogaloos, and and
I remember them. I remember those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's from back in those days. Like, he was already getting down in like 79 and 80s.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so outside of roboting or robots, who would you say is some of your favorite mime or yeah, like mimes are isolation artists. I don't know what.
I would say one of the greatest people to watch who I really got inspired from was a guy named Buster Keaton.
Mm,
I loved him. And there's mimes in different countries
yeah.
that are really great. You know, Jacques Lecoq and um, even Marcel Marceau when he was very young. When he was younger, he was really interesting to look at. Mummenschanz is another group that's a very unusual group. You ever heard of them? Mummenschanz, they do clay faces, very unusual things.
Wow. Then also, like, how do you feel, or what do you think about, like, how much you and Yarnell influence street dance culture? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, I know it's like a hard question to answer, but it just like for us, it's so amazing that you guys just doing what you love influence the whole culture of all these.
I mean, really, man, it's kind of hard to believe. I
Yeah,
can't believe it. Sometimes I have to pinch myself because it's like, I can't believe it. It's almost shot. It's like, it's here I am. I live out here, you know, in the mountains, and
yeah,
I'm doing art, you know, and I'm just having a nice life. And a lot of people who are celebrities, it's kind of like they get drifted out to sea, they get washed out to sea. But all of a sudden, um, every day someone's posting something about me or talking about me and saying this is my greatest influence and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, wait, is that really me?
yeah.
Because you know, I mean, it's like kind of like here I am, and look at me, man. I'm an old guy, you know, and like, I
Legend.
mean, it's just kind of I live in this other world, you know, and I would love to teach sometime because I see so many things I could help.
Yeah,
Because I see people doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm going, wait a minute, wait. Now you're doing this move, you're doing that move, you're doing that move, you're doing this move, you're going over there, you're going over here. You're great. You really got your technique's phenomenal. Mwah. But what about this?
hmm
Why don't we look at it from another window? What about you do this move, you do that move, and all of a sudden it stops and you get a phone call?
hmm
Or all of a sudden you do this move, you do that move, and all of a sudden you just freeze and then you break out into something else that's a whole different rhythm. How about if you just did this move, did that move, and you know what I'm saying? Thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Not just being like everybody else, man. I get these videos from these guys going, hey man, I just feel like, you know, doing some moves for you. You know what I mean? I'm in my room right now and I'm like doing some moves, and they do their moves and all their friends are telling them how brilliant they are. Dope, man. Dope. You're dope. You're the best, man. You're the greatest, man. You're, oh my God, man, you're so good. Guess what? They're not. It's bullshit. Don't listen to those people. Don't listen to those people. We didn't have that in my day, okay? We didn't have people. We had to fucking rehearse in the mirror for we didn't have people, oh man, you're so good. I go, no, it's not. It's not good yet, man. It's not. I know you like it. I know you like it. I know. But you know, it's not there yet. Okay? I'm shaking too much. These guys are getting their heads built up with it's fluff. Now, once in a while, I chime in and I go, it's not soup yet. Keep up the good work. Because I realize I'm an elder and I have a name and I just can't say, man, you don't listen to these. I feel like saying, don't listen to these people, man.
They're not your friends.
You know, they're hurting you.
Yeah.
This is not good. You're sloppy. You're overweight. You're this, you're that. You need to shape up, get into shape, work your ass off. Don't post anything for 2 months, then try it.
Yeah.
You know, this is a you got to be an athlete to do this kind of shit. You know, there's all kinds of stuff, and I don't mean to be so strict, but that's the way I am. I'm very.
That's the way I grew up.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Okay. Good.
And did you ever have any students? Did you ever teach?
I did. I taught. The trouble with me teaching is I give so much, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was the director of clowns for Ringling Brothers, those clowns were horrible. They didn't know anything but put on makeup and juggling. And I tried to teach them, you know, physical comedy. And the only way I could teach them is to show them. And once I showed them, they were like, oh man, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So every time I had to do something, I had to like, break my balls showing it to them because it's tough, you know? So that's the thing about teaching is I just can't sit there and teach. I got to actually do it. And I think what I'm more of is a director where I would see someone's act. Like, what's your act? What do you do? Okay, I start off with this. I start off with that. What about this? What about that? What about changing your costume? What about if you dressed up as a scarecrow? What if you didn't wear this kind of hip street clothes? What if you wore something else? What if you did your act, but then you put on this mask? And what about if you kind of hid your stuff behind a curtain so they don't see all your shit?
Yeah.
So you can kind of keep be more mysterious, like, wow, who is this guy? Who is this guy, man? Wow, he's got a interesting person. I like him. And then producers and directors and people go, I want you on the TV show. So I would be more coming from that place now because I see so much stuff and I see that it's pretty much the same and it needs to be put more in story content, beginning, middle, and end. You start here, this is the middle, and there's an ending, and you bow, or you do something, it ends.
Yeah.
But it's just not dancing for dancing. We call it in comedy shtick for shtick's sake. You know what that means?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just to be funny for funny's sake. You see a lot of comedies, it's like, it's just not, they're trying too hard. So it's like, you're just dancing you're just doing moves. Basically, you're just doing the stuff you learned in your class. You're just doing technique. So if I just did like mime technique, there's the wall, there's the rope, there's there's the going underwater, there's this, there's that. So a lot of the dancing I see has the same thing. They're just doing these amazing moves, but the guy next to him is doing the same moves.
Yeah, with no character. They're just doing moves.
No heart.
Right.
No soul.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that was one of the biggest things with my teachers. They would always teach me character.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known Skeeter Rabbit more.
You would have loved
I knew his name, and I knew he had a good following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked his work. I've seen his work.
You would have loved. Let me try to see if I could find a robot video of his that you can quickly show you.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
And while he's looking for that, do you remember what year it was when you first heard of like locking and popping, or like, do you remember who was the person that you saw first?
Well, before the Lockers, Tony Basil was a big fan of ours, and she put us in Las Vegas. She booked us in Las Vegas in a thing called the Doodah Days in 1975.
Wow.
And then she got involved with the Lockers. But we knew of the Lockers because we were doing shows, and then they came on the scene and they started doing shows. But they were doing more. They had a robot guy in there, but I don't think his robot moves. I mean, I hate to say this, I don't think he was that tight.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to put him down or anything, but it wasn't. I'm always looking for dime stops and timing. You know what I mean? Timing is everything. And popping and locking was great. It's fun. It's kind of a gimmick the way they did it. It was with those loud costumes. But I like to see everything involved in one thing, So I didn't really. I think it was more like kind of clownish what they were doing. It was good. It was great. It was ahead of its time for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't really. It wasn't really my cup of tea. But that's just my personal feeling, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Your background and your level of performing is like way different than anyone probably that exists now. So like you actually have the right to say those type of things because the commitment you had to your craft and the level you reached, like what you're talking about. And that's what most people
Well, those guys are really good, and Shabadu's a friend of mine, and those guys are really trained dancers. They're good. Tony's really a trained dancer. She's ballet trained, man. When you're ballet trained, woo, watch out. I mean, she was, but they were like some of the early pioneers of popping, you know, and locking and popping, and that's a really cool technique. I don't know how far you can go with it. It's kind of like the name game, bump it, boom, bop, bop, you know. I mean, it's kind of like it's a great thing. But I think it's one thing that you incorporate into everything else that you do.
Awesome.
You know, it's just something that you do that, you do this, and then you pop into that, and you slide into this, then you go into that, and then you freeze into that, you know. So, but their whole act was that, it seemed that's all they did was just, it was very unique. And that's the first time I actually saw that kind of stuff was with them. You know?
Yeah, and it's definitely evolved from those days, and like I think they were trying to figure out exactly what way to approach it, because it is a lot different than you would say like your typical performer who's on stage miming, on stage animating, doing all those different things, where they were more focused on the music telling them or guiding them on what to do, where your level, the type of performer you are, you have complete control, right? It's like even silent most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, in my act, I would mime a radio and I would swallow it and become the different stations. And I would turn my ear to become, that was lose weight real fast. Get new tapeworm in a drum. So I would become weird wizards and drink potions and turn into James Brown. And I was always kind of trying to tell stories with the body,
That's so dope.
You know what I mean? Going to another level, like telling a story. Here we are, deep inside the womb. Going inside the womb and being a sperm, swimming. And then taking a machine gun and shooting all the other sperms, and then coming out and being born, or a chicken coming out of an egg. Lizards and monkeys and all that shit. So telling stories like a storyteller. I wish mimes were called storytellers and not mimes. I hate that word mime. When I think of mime, I think of just someone I want to slug.
Hey, Devious, check your Facebook Messenger.
Oh, you can share it. You can share it on. I gave you access. You can just. Or you want? Here, let me pop it up.
Yeah, I'm on my iPad. I don't.
Got you. And Robert, how important do you feel sound effects are to what you do? Because that's something that I constantly show when I teach people is to make sound effects when they're moving their body and to help them really understand how to really put that effect out there. So I wanted to ask you, like, how important do you feel sound effects are, like making your own sound effects to your movement?
I think for me, they were real important. I mean, like, especially with the robot, when I do the robot, just when I practice. Wow. So I mean, I've always done that. I've always like.
Oh,
So that, and I do them inside like a sucking, like. Yeah, it helps me. And also, it's not the movement, it's the not moving. If you really want to see some good shit, man, look at Fred Astaire. That's what Michael did. Michael and I used to talk about Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire, man, watch him do his moves, but watch when he freezes. It's awesome. He stops right on a dime.
Yeah, that dime.
Gene Kelly, too. Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. I knew Gene Kelly. Those guys are really something to watch. Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. Yeah. Oh, who is this now? Skeeter Rabbit? Nice.
Yeah. Whew.
Wow. That was good. So, yeah, he's beautiful. When did he leave the planet?
2006.
2006, yeah.
And how old was he when he left?
I think he would be, if he was still here, he would be 60.
Today,
Really? Why did he go so young? What happened to him?
Gunshot.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But him as a dancer too, he was so funky and he had like so much rhythm in his movement. For me, like usually dancers like that are not really good at roboting. So to see like
Yes.
how he would do it, it's like it's inspiring, right? Because a lot of
Well,
dancers make excuses on why they're not good at certain things, right? Instead of saying like I don't practice hard, they'll just be like, oh
Yeah.
well, I'm not good at robot because I like to be funky, or I'm not good at being funky because I want to just robot and animate. Where like someone like Skeeter Rabbit, rest in peace, he really appreciated both, and he was like, for us, a high level at both because not a lot of
yeah,
poppers.
he would study the crap out of you, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
That's great, man. I'm honored. I'm honored. I really am. I'm really humbled by that, and I love all dancers, and I know the work that goes into it. I mean, I know the practice and the work, and I'm honored that I was a part of it, and
Still are.
I'm happy that you guys invited me to do this because I've been watching this and I talk to people once in a while, but I don't really get involved like this. So thank you.
No, we
no,
appreciate.
thank you for
letting me in your world. Oh, thanks.
thank
No,
you
really.
for even thinking. Like, it's an honor. Like, you don't. It's an honor.
I appreciate it. I really do. I mean,
Big time.
yeah.
No, thank you so much, and like really, please, we need you. The scene needs you. The community and just humanity in general, like entertainers and people like that do what you do. It really brings so much joy to life, So
Thank you, man.
we want to make sure to reach out while we have these legends still around us, and as well for you guys to understand that like we are doing what we're doing, and you're a huge part of that. Like you opened up so many doors for.
Well, thank you. And you got my number. You know where I am. I'm sometimes full of shit, and sometimes I'm not. I'm just a human being, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
sometimes I get carried. I'm like a punk. I've always been like a kind of like a street guy. So I just tell it like it is, and sometimes I get in trouble with that stuff.
No, we appreciate
But
that.
We all do, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. We could relate.
I don't want to offend anyone, but
No, but going back to what Devious was saying, like I kind of feel like we do like really need you, because exactly what you were saying earlier, like I think these kids that are doing robot now or even popping, I think they need to hear your words by you saying like, oh, you guys are all doing the same shit. Do something different.
Yeah.
Because they're all doing the same robot. They're all like, and I just feel like they need to hear that from you. Like,
It
do
seems
something.
to be like a coming of age, like doing that. It looks like they're, you know, it feels like everyone's different. Like I'm coming from it from a whole different perspective. I'm coming from it from entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I used to do this piece, robot animatronic. You know, I'm 450,000 moving components. I've been secretly programmed by human behavior. You know, you know, and it was a story. Everything's a story.
Yeah.
But you just have to teach them to create a story with it.
Yeah.
Because you're teachers, right? You got both of you are teachers. So you say, look, man, it's great that you got these moves and they're beautiful. You're getting better and better all the time. But what are you gonna do with it? What do? You can just be like this guy and that guy and Sally and Jim and Fred over here? Are you gonna step out of the box and try and create something with it that no one else has ever done? And the people who do that, they rise to the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that guy Tape Mouth. You ever seen that guy with a tape over his mouth?
No.
I haven't seen that.
He was on America's Got Talent. They call him
I
Tape
didn't.
Mouth or something like that. He has a piece of tape over his mouth.
And
And what he's doing is not that unusual, but he has a great gimmick. He puts a piece of tape over his mouth. So he's forced to just do this mime stuff with a piece of tape over his mouth. It's very interesting. And he's gotten a lot of traction from it. He's on a lot of shows. He's in Vegas. He's got a whole career with this stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's called Tape Mouth. I think that's what his name is.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, you know, it's just constantly trying to improve on yourself. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We're constantly trying to get better. And how do you get better? By practicing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And see, that's the message that I feel these kids need, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, like all they're looking for now is instant gratification, right? Like they post their dance video, everybody's like, oh, you're fire emoji.
Yeah.
But nobody's actually telling them like, nah, that was whack. Go practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if somebody does tell it, like us, we're haters. Like, oh, why are you hating? Like, get your negativity out of here. Like, nah, bro. Like, you need to practice. Like,
we actually want to see people grow, and we're trying to help them grow, right? And like, it's kind of like they have it reversed nowadays, where they think the people critiquing them, trying to help them, are negative, and then the people who are just feeding their ego are positive, right? And like, that's really where that difference is, where, you know, when you were coming up, there was no holding back. It was like, no, you got to get better. Yeah. So, Robert,
world.
for sure. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We appreciate your time. Really, it's an honor, a pleasure. It's going to be something that I know we remember for
You guys are great, man. And thanks for inviting me to your party. I truly appreciate being here. And you got my number, so keep in touch. And
definitely
God bless both of you, man. And God bless Skeeter Rabbit, man.
Yes, God bless.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Yeah.
So stay safe, stay healthy. Talk to you soon, Robert. Have a good day.
Okay, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bam. Yo.
Man, that shit was crazy, bro.
Look, bro, like, let me show you real quick. All my notes.
I know you did your research on him.
Bro, you know how I roll, bro. The same with, like, even when Dominique did Shrimp, bro, I had to pass him all those questions because, like, really, bro, with these legends like that, even Taco, it's like, if you don't know, if you're not truly following them their whole career, like, you're gonna miss so many points because they did so much shit, bro. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because you know, the newer generation won't understand because they have Instagram, Facebook. Like, for people to see you like they're like you had to be on TV or a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like right now, let's just film the intro and
Yeah,
the
for sure.
outro. Yeah, just because
Yeah.
with him it was we weren't gonna be able to. Bro, when we started playing videos, he was like this, and then like he started fidgeting. I'm like, yo, he's a true artist, bro. Like this fool, like you could tell his mind. It's hard for him to like. I even wanted to tell him to shout out what he's working on now, but I could already tell he was getting tired.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the intro real quick. Boom. All right, we good. Let me see. Talk real quick.
Yo, 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 yo.
All right, cool. All right. Yeah. Now I don't have to play the music. I just edit the music in. Okay.
Cool.
Ready? Boom. Yo, yo. What's good, everybody? This is Devious.
What's going on? What's going on, Kid Boogie?
Another episode of Outspoken coming to you right now.
Yo, this is a legendary one. Legendary.
No, it's really something it's an honor and pleasure for us to have him on this platform and really spit some knowledge for the community, for us, and really help us learn. And
Yes.
yeah, like we're gonna have so many dope guests, but this one right here is definitely is like a bucket list type thing, so
Yeah, man.
yeah, enjoy the episode. We appreciate y'all. This Outspoken. Boom. All right. That's cool. Still recording? All right, cool. Now let's do the outro.
All right.
You can start it off this time. Like, yo, Pete, however you want to.
Yo, what's up, man? I'm going backward. Yo, so that was Robert Shields, man, the legendary, the myth, the legend. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Man, there's so much information to dissect from that. I feel like I
Yeah.
got better just listening, man. I feel like I got better.
Yeah, man. Like the things that he was saying about like creating a story, I'm gonna start doing that, bro. Like I'm gonna start putting that in my dancing, in my videos. Like I'm gonna start thinking about that, like just to tap into the next level, like just
No, that's real. And really that's like that missing component from like you could say like street poppers to like people who could go on stage and like hold an audience of thousands is that
yeah,
that storytelling capability, right? And like that's really a missing art form. That's really what he's getting down to, right? Is that's the missing art form right there that a lot of entertainers don't have, is that like that storyline. And yeah, man, like I think really we're gonna learn a lot from this. And
he dropped a lot of gems, bro. Like almost everything that he was saying was like gold, like it was crazy.
Straight up. And I'm glad that we got to show him Skeeter Rabbit, man.
Yeah, I've been like, bro, like that's been like, you don't understand. Like Ski was the one that told me like, watch this guy, learn from him. And I used to watch his videos like, damn. And Ski would always like, don't blink, don't blink, don't blink. And even here's one thing too that Skeeter Rabbit would always like tell me, because you know how like we do this, right? And then we'll go like this, but our eyes would like kind of like stay.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd be like, no, they have to be straight. Keep looking, keep looking. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, I've even seen his clip of him roboting, which I've seen before, like seeing it while talking to Robert and hearing what he was saying. Like you could see the influence in Skeet's and like because it's for us is like really dope, like outside of someone like Popping John, Matt Chad, and like even Popping John, you got Skeet like right there.
Yeah,
to me,
Ski, bro, like to me, Ski was the best robot,
dancing robot, like in his level of dance. Even like there's little moments in his robot where you can see that the funk was
he was to get out of it.
I was like, the funk. And see, that's something like I know for Robert, he doesn't.
That's probably a minus for him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that's like, robot does not get funky like that, But it's dope just for us to be able to get that breakdown from a master and then apply it to our culture and what our standards are, right? Because we still have the popping culture still has a certain foundation that we have to follow and that we go by, but when we are going to dabble in that, because animation and roboting is a huge part of our art form, we got to respect what a founder is saying, right? We got to see that and go, okay, all right, that makes sense, and like take what's useful, take what could really help us. And if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. There's no reason for you to trip or get all butthurt.
Keep it moving, keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving, and respect this legend for the work, the hours, the days, all the time that they put in to formulate that opinion. This is not something that they're just grabbing from the air. This is from like years of dedication when no one was watching. Like he said, no one was watching. Not knowing if it's gonna work, not knowing if it's gonna be popular, not knowing if people are gonna like it because it's never been done before. Like you gotta respect that, So once again, another episode of Outspoken. Much love, everybody.
Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Let's get it.